The hacker who trolled Hollywood. How in the hell do you troll Hollywood, bro? Trolling Hollywood's crazy. Like, ain't the movies already made? Like, does this nigga make some fake movies or something? How do you troll Hollywood? Like, what? Like, I couldn't even think of how I could troll Hollywood, my nigga. The fuck? Trolling Hollywood. How'd you even hack into Hollywood? Like, do you have to, like... I don't even know, bro. Let's get into it. Trolling Hollywood's
The
crazy.
war for the internet has begun.
This is Kim.com, a notorious hacker.
I was a hacker.
Damn.
Probably one of the most famous ones in computer history.
But, like, how'd you... Wait,
And
I don't
maybe
get
a-
it. Like, they make movies, not freaking... They don't use that much... They just use cameras and shit. Like, what?
A whole lot more, depending on which version of the story you believe. One of Germany's earliest tech entrepreneurs,
He had a knack for
Damn.
finding
He
financial
went on private
opportunities
jet?
in technology.
a trader, a scammer, an activist, a visionary, a criminal, a scapegoat,
We are going to
A
use
visionary. What is a visionary? I need to actually search up what a visionary is. Like, let me search the different visionary. Like, what is it? Thinking about or planning the future with imagination or wisdom. Okay.
every weapon in our arsenal to destroy this guy.
Hollywood's number one enemy,
a popular hub for illegally downloaded movies.
a folk hero in
Oh,
the fight for
okay.
internet freedom, a pro gamer, an eccentric multi-millionaire, a musician, an aspiring politician and marketing genius.
Yeah, I like Mega Upload.
Kim.com may be many things, but one thing is for sure. He has
Kim.com.
changed the internet forever. And this is his story.
I was about to say, like, how would you hack Hollywood, bro?
We originally spoke to German journalist
bro
Janne
probably
Knudler
stole
for
the
this story.
movies.
She
Makes
and her
sense.
team host a fantastic podcast series called Wild Wild Web. The first season is dedicated entirely to Kim.com. His story begins in the early 90s, in Kiel, a city in the north of Germany. This is long before he launched the infamous file-sharing platform Mega Upload, before he became the most wanted man on the internet.
Damn. But I'd rather just hustle the legal way. Like, for y'all out there who think the illegal way, like, you might get more money out of it, but that's more stress, more commotion, you know what I'm saying? You'll bold quicker, but just go the legal route. I know the legal route is probably, like, longer, but, bro, it's worth
Back
it.
then, he was just Kim Schmitz. He will later claim he attended an elite boarding school in a castle, and that he graduated with a special diploma for gifted students at just 17. None of that is true. He actually went to a public high school for lower secondary education and lived in a home for troubled youth. This detail is significant as it highlights a recurring pattern throughout his story. Kim has always tried to portray himself as more than he actually was, as bigger, better, and smarter than his peers.
Damn.
Kim's parents separate when he is young. His father is a violent drunk, so the boy often retreats to the safety of his bedroom.
Damn, dealing with violent drunks. Everyone dealt with a violent drunk, bro. I don't even get violent drunks. Like, you know you get violent of drunks, but you still drink, boy. And the problem is the legalization of liquor. Like, if liquor is legal, weed should be legal, bro. Like, come on now.
There he discovers the magic of
I'll go on an analogy. Put 7 people in a room full of drunk people and 7 people in a room who are high. Who's most likely to fight? There's your answer, mate.
computers and becomes obsessed. He starts writing his own programs and gets involved in the early days of the internet, before most people even knew what it is. By the early 90s, Kim is running what is essentially a server for trading pirated software. And apparently, he isn't just hosting it. He is eavesdropping on the users, listening in on the emerging hacker scene. The trading platform also earns him his
Crazy.
first money. Around the same time, he debuts his now famous alias, Kimbo, an homage to the main character in The Fugitive, who is wrongfully accused of murder and forced to flee from the authorities. This is Kim in 1992, in a grainy segment of German national TV, showing off how to make free phone calls worldwide by routing through the US. He claims he coded the software himself. The show dubs him the nightmare of national telecommunications. A Forbes article claims he's the leader of an international hacker group called Dope, and one of the...
Bro, you see all of this? What he's doing right now? Bro's just getting dopamine hits just from doing the illegal way, but at the end of the day, karma always hits you back. We'll see his punishment.
Most well-known hackers in Germany. Allegedly, he developed an encrypted, tap-proof mobile phone and sold hundreds of them. Back then, a curious teen like Kim.com could teach himself to code and stumble into the center of a global tech saga. Today, understanding how the digital world works is more essential than ever. And you can do it too. You just need the right tools. Brilliant. You how to getting familiar. And actually, this encryption server. He's convicted in 1998 and receives a 2-year suspended sentence. But Kim remains undeterred. He uses his conviction to boost his hacker image. Kimbo, the larger-than-life tech renegade. At the time, most...
But you know what's crazy? It's like... I don't know. It's like weird. It's like... Some people will be put in jail cells, have put in worse conditions, even though they were doing something before. Like, they were more free and they were doing something before, but it was like no good version. But then niggas will get locked up, and then all this like restrictions and shit will make the best thing ever. It's like, I know, it's crazy. I don't know how to explain it.
Journalists have no clue how computers actually work.
Like, rappers in jail, like rappers will go back into jail and then come out with their best album. Like, it's crazy.
In this climate, it's easy for Kim to turn myth into media headlines. He claims to have hacked into Citibank and wired $20 million to Greenpeace. That is almost certainly made up. While Citibank had in fact been hacked a few years earlier, the hackers were Russian, not German. And they definitely didn't donate the money to Greenpeace. Kim also claims to have breached both the Pentagon and NASA. Again, the hacks were real, but not carried out by him. People in the scene start having serious doubts about whether Kimbo even has the skills to pull off any serious hacking. But scattered skepticism doesn't dent Kimbo's carefully crafted image. He doubles down on his reputation and launches a cybersecurity firm called Data Protect. The logic is simple. Who could better protect you from hackers than the most dangerous hacker himself? Data Protect takes off and he starts to make serious money. In 2000, he sells 80% of the company. It's the peak of the dot-com boom and Kim has ideas. Some are actually ahead of their time, like an early version of two-factor authentication years before it became a thing. Then there are also ideas like the Mega Car, a concept car with an onboard computer, built-in video conferencing, and 16 SIM cards for mobile internet on the highway. It never hit the market. In any case, Kim becomes a rising star in the business world, and he shares his extravagant lifestyle online.
Hello everybody, this is Kim.com. This is my girlfriend. This is my car. This is my...
Bro, what? You can tell Shorty doesn't even want to be with this nigga too. Why would she want to be with a nigga like that? Niggas get money and don't build themselves up as men, bro.
House storage. This is my beach. This is my sky. What the fuck?
Die Hauptsache ist, dass alle happy sind. Und wenn alle sagen, wir fahren jetzt höchstens 220 und nicht mehr 300, dann machen wir das so.
Private jets, luxury cars.
Crazy,
During
bro.
peak.com mania, he claims he'll rescue the flailing e-commerce startup Let'sBuyIt.com. And he makes a headline-grabbing appearance on a German late-night show to sell the story.
Du hast dieses Unternehmen gerettet, ist das auch richtig?
Das ist richtig, ja.
Warum bewirft man dich dann mit schmutzigen Vorwürfen in der Presse?
In truth, Kimbo never actually saves that firm. He buys up shares on the cheap, pumps the stock with media hype, and then cashes out. That's textbook insider trading and illegal. He tries to flee to Thailand but fails. He's slapped with another 20-month suspended sentence and a €100,000 fine. Most of his...
But see what I mean? Watch bro get... See how he's been restricted now? Watch him come out with like a better company that makes bank, bro.
Ventures go belly up. And as the global dot-com bubble bursts and triggers a full-blown economic crisis, Kim decides to emigrate to Hong Kong. He launches a new string of sketchy ventures and shows off even more fancy cars. Let's skip ahead a bit. It's 2005, and Kim.com is about to change the internet forever. With the idea is deceptively simple. It's essentially a cloud service.
Wait, what? Meet woman today? Cheat at online poker? What? Get 100% free ringtones? Tips to stop?
Wow. Where people can upload files for others to download them, years before Dropbox and Google Drive.
That's
no
crazy.
Accounts, just links.
Cheat on online
It doesn't
poker is
take long
crazy.
for people to realize that Mega Upload makes it very easy to share entire movies and full-length music albums. Kim is not the first to offer this kind of service, but Mega Upload just works extremely well. A lot of storage for the time, fast downloads.
Select file to send maximum. Bro, 250 megabytes is nothing these days. That's like a little photo, a little 4K photo. But back then, it must have been crazy, bro.
The company quickly morphs into a sprawling network. Some of you may still remember the sister site Mega Video and its infamous 72-minute time limit. At its peak, Mega
Say
Upload is
word.
the 13th most popular website on the internet. With 50 million users a day, it accounts for a whopping 4% of global online traffic. This is
Oh my
before
goodness.
Spotify and Netflix.
He must
Back
be
then,
earning
people would
bank.
spend a small fortune on DVDs and CDs. Around $20 for Spider-Man 2, $16 for the new Green Day album. And all of a sudden, it's all out there for free. Hollywood and the music
Damn.
industry quickly realized they're missing out on massive chunks of revenue. So in the early 2000s, they declare war on piracy. First, they sue Napster into the ground.
A federal court ruled Monday Napster must stop allowing music fans to swap copyrighted material.
Then comes the DVD scare ad era. But none of that is stopping Mega Upload. For years, authorities struggled to get a grip on the platform, and no one
That's
really
crazy.
knows who's behind it. It used to be owned by Kim Schmitz, but Mega Upload denies any further connection to him. The site is now registered to a company called Vester Limited, which belongs to some Finnish guy called Kim Tim Jim Vester. Of course, Finnish Kim and Kimbo are the same person. He used his distant Finnish ancestry to get hold of a second passport. And for a
Bruh.
while, that smoke screen actually allows him to hide in a legal gray zone. But
No
in
way.
2011, Kim just can't resist stepping back into the spotlight. He publicly declares that he is the mastermind behind Mega Upload.
Now, why would his dumbass do that now?
That's when Kim Schmitz and Kimbo give way to a whole new identity, Kim.com. By now, he is living large in New Zealand in a mansion by the sea. He is collecting luxury cars and uses his free
Sheesh.
time to become one of the top-ranked Call of Duty players on the globe. He's got a wife and kids, and it
But I just couldn't do that, bro. I just couldn't.
almost feels like his wildest years are behind him. Maybe he thinks he's far enough from the US to be safe, out of reach, because instead of keeping his head down, Kim lashes out, and he takes on the global music and movie industries head first.
That's crazy.
His Mega Upload song from 2011 is extremely provocative. Some of the biggest pop stars of the day appear in the music video, publicly backing a platform that Hollywood sees as the embodiment of internet piracy.
Say word, what the hell? Wait, I thought that was just AI.
Supposedly
crazy.
responsible for billions in losses. Universal Music sues Mega Upload. The music video keeps getting pulled from YouTube. And this is just the beginning. The media start calling Kim.com the movie industry killer. With his mansion, his fleet of cars, and his private chopper, he doesn't look like a tech renegade anymore. He becomes the Dr. No of Hollywood.
Clumsy effort, Mr. Bond. You
Damn.
disappoint me.
Okay, maybe more like Dr. Evil. Either way, he becomes a scapegoat.
Bro, that's some crazy stuff.
On January 20, 2012, New Zealand police raid .com's Auckland mansion at dawn. At the request of the FBI, more than a dozen heavily armed special forces stormed the property. They call it Operation Takedown.
That's crazy,
They seize
bro.
luxury cars, designer watches, and hard drives. Simultaneously, there are raids across 8 other countries.
Why would his dumbass expose himself? Like, he walked into the trap himself, bro.
In Germany, police confiscate a brand new Mercedes Kim just got his mom for Christmas. The FBI takes over
Damn.
Mega Upload. All sides of the company go dark. The authorities claim that Kim.com is the ringleader of an international criminal enterprise, that his platform has been built from the ground up to traffic stolen digital content, and that everything else, the branding and business model, is just a front to cover up its real purpose. According to US prosecutors, he and his accomplices have caused $500 million in damages while making
my
$175 million for themselves. Now,
Oh
Kim
my
is facing
jeez.
extradition to the States and up to 55 years in prison. But is that really
Crazy,
the whole
bro.
story? Is Kim.com actually a criminal mastermind? His defense is pretty straightforward. He says he basically invented Google Drive before Google did, that Mega Upload was just a platform, and that he couldn't be held accountable for what users chose to up or download. But under US law, being a file-sharing platform doesn't just give you a free pass. You have to actively make sure copyrighted content isn't being shared illegally, and the indictment documents say he did too little, too late. Kim, of course, insists otherwise. He says Mega Upload had systems in place to take down copyrighted material upon request. He claims his
Damn.
platform even provided big Hollywood studios with the tools to remove the content themselves. But
Oh, you got
prosecutors
them.
argue that Mega Upload's supposed good intentions were just a front. Behind the scenes, they run a rewards program, paying users to upload popular shows and movies. The platform also supposedly dragged its feet on takedown notices, keeping content online longer to rack up more clicks. Janne Knödler and her team have reviewed leaked Mega Upload documents and emails. They suggest Kim and his crew were fully aware of what was going on their platform.
That's crazy.
Kim insists the whole thing is a massive political conspiracy. He's never been able to provide any proof. But the full-blown international raid and the threat of 50-plus years behind bars, that does look like authorities are trying to make a point, turning Kim.com into an example. And there is a political layer to this story. The US film and music industry do in fact have massive lobbying power. For example, the then head lobbyist for Hollywood's biggest trade group MPAA was a close friend of then Vice President Joe Biden. And Biden has a reputation for being tough on online piracy. Over 10 years pass. Kim.com relaunches Mega. He dabbles in New Zealand politics. He gives interviews, hops on creator live streams,
No
and
way.
stars in documentaries.
No way he's out of jail. That's
His story
crazy.
is turned into a best-selling book, and he's even getting his own biopic. A German public broadcaster is producing a 6-part series on Kim.com's rise, fall, and digital rebellion. A gripping, high-energy miniseries about the life of the internet's most audacious outlaw. For a decade, he fought his extradition with all that he's got, appeal after appeal, hearing after hearing. But in August 2024, New Zealand's Justice Minister signed the order. Kim.com will be extradited to the US. He faces charges of copyright infringement, money laundering, and racketeering. Just months later, in November 24, Kim suffered a serious stroke. He hasn't said much since. Just one post on X saying he's in recovery, asking for patience and prayers. So, who is
That's
Kim.com,
crazy, bro.
really? An internet freedom fighter? Or a ruthless criminal? The truth, as always, is messy. He's charismatic, funny, larger than life. A guy who dreamed up ideas long before the tech world turned them into reality. But also a guy who spreads wild conspiracy theories and loves to take credit for things he most likely didn't do. Someone who can read the room, hack the system, and turn it all into a spectacle. Yes, he built a platform that made piracy easy. But in a world where the old media giants were losing control, .com was turned into the perfect villain. The poster boy for a digital Wild West they couldn't contain. At the end of the day, Kim.com held up a mirror to an industry that had completely slept through the internet revolution and was desperate to stop the clock from ticking.
Damn, that's some crazy shit, man.